This is Bob Burge with the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. Thanks for joining us this morning. We have a very special virtual job fair for folks down in Decatur County, and we have at least 3 employers, possibly 4 with us today about some job opportunities that they have available. We're going to get into some detail with those folks in just a minute, and I'm going to stall for just a second because we got a lot of folks I can see jumping on board right now. So I'm going to do a keeping items. I also want to reach out to our Region 9 down in that area. They help put this together, and we appreciate the employers for their time, and certainly those of you job seekers that are attending. Here's a slide that talks a little bit about our WorkOne office Southeast and all the counties that are included. The 10 counties that are included. Again, today we're going to be talking with folks from Decatur County. So great operation down there in the southeast part of the state, and if you don't, your local WorkOne office, please take a moment to do that, because there's a lot of opportunity out there right now. And during these difficult times, there are a lot of employers that are hiring, and we're going to be meeting some of them in just a second. So I do want to thank you guys for participating, as I mentioned, as job seekers and the employers who we're going to meet in just a second. I do want to mention your audio option. If you're having some trouble with feedback, you might use the telephone option. You'll see there's a telephone option to dial in directly. If not, you can use your computer audio. That's what I'm using right now. Also, there's going to be a lot of information to digest today, but you are going to be getting a recording. So today's program will be recorded, and by registering, you'll automatically get a copy of the recording. So if there's something that you may have missed, or you want to follow up on, or even share with somebody else, you'll be able to share that recording as well. On the right-hand side, you'll see the ability on your screen to send us questions. We like questions. We're not sure if we'll get to all of them today, but those all will follow up with you. They do have your contact information. So do send us any questions that may come up during this morning's program. And we're also going to do some polling. So I'm going to do some polling questions in just a second. But before we do that, let me introduce some of the panelists you're going to hear from today. First, from Kelly Services for Honda, the talent recruiter, Jenny Miller. Jenny, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And next is the HR supervisor with PHARMAPACKAGING. Let's welcome Bonnie Hahn. Bonnie, thanks.
Thank you.
And the assistant manager of human resources with One Solution Logistics of Indiana, Brandon Mills. Brandon, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, and thanks for having us.
And I'm going to do a real quick polling question. And we may be hearing from Advanced Bearing Materials before today's program is over. So let me do a couple quick polling questions, and this kind of helps our. And I know this question is it asks whether or not you're currently employed, yes or no. And again, I know this doesn't impact your ability to be hired. So this just gives them a little bit of background on whether or not people are currently employed. And again, we've heard from all of them that doesn't necessarily make a difference. So that will be helpful. And if we can get folks, we got a little bit voting going on there. And let me close that out. And then I'm going to do one more here. This one asks where you're located. So the options, if you're on your phone only, the options are Decatur County, Shelby County, Rush County, Bartholomew County, and another nearby county. So if you can just let us know where you're located, that'll be helpful. And let me close that out. And okay, so with that, we got our polling done. And with that, I'm going to go to Jenny Miller. Jenny's the talent recruiter for Kelly Services, as we mentioned. Jenny, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Bob. Thank you guys so much for having me. So yes, I am Jenny Miller. I'm the lead recruiter in Greensburg for Kelly Services, and we are recruiting for Honda today. So they keep us very, very busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Tell us a little bit about your job and what Kelly Services does for Honda, and maybe a little bit about the community and your plant. Then we'll jump into some jobs. How's that?
Awesome, sounds good. So I've been with Kelly for 2 years. We have an on-site team inside of Honda, and then we also have our recruiting branch over here in the Walmart Plaza in Greensburg. So that's where you guys would come in to apply for jobs, etc. And then, of course, you know, once you get hired in over there with us at Honda, then we've got our on-site team that can take care of you. But we are recruiting for assembly positions for first and second shift over at Honda. We've got full-time hours and part-time hours available. And we'll get into that later and discuss, you know, the more details involved on that. But yeah. So
and it sounds like you guys have had a long-standing. I did talk to our commissioner here is from Honda. He came to us from Honda, and he was very pleased that we were doing this and was very well of the Kelly relationship there.
Yeah, sounds good. Absolutely. So
anything else? What you want to talk? Anything else before we jump into the jobs? Your call.
No, I think that's really about it. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, definitely reach out. I'm more than happy to answer those for you.
Okay, well, let's jump into the position you want to talk about. It is, I think you mentioned an assembly position. Let's check that out.
Okay.
Okay, so you are hiring. This is an assembly position. Okay. So there's a little bit of a description. Kind of walk us through that. Okay.
Sure. So assembly positions, I mean, they are somewhat assembly, but there's a ton of different departments over there at Honda. So it could be anywhere from paint department, weld department, assembly frame. We've got quality, things of that sort. It just depends on what Honda's needs are at the time. They are in dire need right now. So we have hiring classes every single Monday for at least the next 6 weeks. So easy to get you guys in right now. Very easy and fast. Now,
so when you say assembly position, that could vary. I mean, there's a variety of assembly positions there in different departments, correct?
Absolutely, because when people call in about assembly positions, it's kind of a turnoff for them. Yes, it is assembly, but it's not necessarily, you know, you're working so repetitive every single, you know, minute of the day throughout the line, just because of it could be in weld or paint or etc. So it's somewhat of assembly, but at the same time, there's so many different departments out there that very intriguing and interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
And then are you going to talk a little bit about experience and?
Absolutely no experience is needed. We get, you know, nurses coming in or anybody with, you know, no warehouse or assembly line manufacturing experience at all. We will train you guys out there. You'll be training for at least 1 week, up to 3, and then they'll get you out on the floor. So the first week is going to be all classroom related. That way they can get everything situated, get your guys' uniforms to you, get your guys' boots requirements. They'll talk about benefits and everything else.
I have a question here. I know Honda has always made safety a top priority. Anything else you want to add on safety since the pandemic has struck? Has there been any changes on that front?
Well, especially since the governor has announced the masks, those are mandatory. You guys anybody that gets hired in at Honda or Kelly will have to wear a mask out on the floor. But I feel like that's kind of an everyday requirement throughout Indiana right now. So we haven't really had much of an issue, you know, when it comes to that. But just keep that in mind. Safety training, you guys will be, you know, trained on safety training out there on site. There is, as far as the process to get on when it comes to safety, you know, this is kind of how it works. You guys will come talk to us, the recruiters. We will get you on a computer and we'll start your application, and then the Honda skills assessment test on a computer. Once we get that passed and completed, we would schedule a physical exam. out at the Honda plant, which would take about an hour and a half. And what they do for that is they'll check your vitals. They are obviously check your temperature because of COVID right now, hearing and vision checks, and put you through somewhat of a physical exam. Most of that is the pinching and gripping tests and a few squats. Okay. So we would have the results from that test the next day. And usually your background also is back by then. And once all that stuff's back, we can get you started for a start date or a start class.
It sounds like that happens fairly fast, right? So
for Honda, yeah. And you know, Honda's not the typical you work 90 days and you're done off of your assignment, or we can get you in the next day, because it's such a great opportunity. So like I said, we would get you in at this point. We can get you in the very next Monday, as long as everything's cleared and passed, for the next 6 weeks at least. And then these are long-term temp to hire positions. So you can stay on with Kelly Services as long as you want, or you can get directly hired in through Honda.
Okay, so it's a nice way to kind of see what you like before jumping all in full-time with Honda directly then, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Hey, can you talk a little bit while we have you, Jenny, about the culture at Honda? I know we hear about that from the commissioner, and can you talk a little bit of culture?
Sure. Very open-minded. So if you guys need any help with anything, obviously you can come to our on-site team out at Honda. We get calls all day, every day here at the recruiting branch. We're more than happy to help you guys with anything. Great people to work with. So it's really very online, I guess, when it comes to your benefits or any questions that you might have with pay, benefits, just to change anything personal, you know, your personal information, your names or your phone numbers, you know, address, things like that.
Okay. And Jenny, I got a question here on shifts. What shifts are we talking, and can you talk about what hours the different shifts are?
Sure.
Second shift.
So, yeah, we've got first shift and second shift. Occasionally we'll get the third shift, but those are very, very rare. They're all 8-hour shifts, Monday through Fridays for your full-time hours. You do just have to be open to working any overtime or weekends in case they might need you for it. But all the shift hours are the same. So first shift would be 6:30 in the morning until 3 p.m. And those start at a pay rate of $16.49 an hour. And your second shift would be 4:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. And those start out at $17.31 an hour. Okay. We do give raises, usually every 6 months, about 50 cents around about. You would cap out at $2 with Kelly Services. So once you get to that $2, then that would exceed it. But usually people are getting hired in by then. Part-time, same hours, you know, 6:30 to 3 or 4:30 p to 1 a. Those are just 2 days a week. So those are going to be Mondays and Fridays, the mandatory days. And then you would pick, if you want to pick up, you're more than welcome to pick up Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday throughout the middle of the week for extra cash.
Okay, so somebody that's interested in part-time work, it looks like a good opportunity for them. Can you speak just a second on the benefits? I assume they are through Kelly, right? And how does that work? And is it just like any other employer?
Yep, pretty much. So we, people think that because we're a staffing agency, we're not going to offer benefits. We do. They are through Leslie Benefits, and we have the full package. It's pretty a la carte. You guys can pick and choose. There's tons of different things to choose from as far as packages. We have medical, dental, and vision available. You guys would receive those within, usually, I think it's about the first 30 days of employment is when you would start receiving those benefits.
Okay, so I got a couple questions here. Are your candidates able to get on as a direct hire Honda? I think you referenced that. I think that's a matter of if both parties agree that, hey, it's worth going forward. How does that work?
Yep. So if you guys decide, hey, I want to get on that direct hire wait list, you would just let a Kelly Services rep know on site. We'll get you right on that wait list. and it's a legit wait list. So once your name comes up on the list, it's your time to go. And then they'll ask you if you're ready, and you can say yes or no. Once you get hired in, usually it takes about, I would say anywhere between 6 months to 18 months to get hired in. I know that's kind of a lengthy, I guess, spread out, but it used to be, around 18 months at least. Now it's pushing back more towards 15 months we can get you hired in, but it also depends on the fall off rate of the candidates. They're very strict on attendance out at Honda, which is a good thing. So,
Sure.
It keeps everybody on their P's and Q's, and it lets them know it's a great company to work for, and very structured. So I've seen people get off of that wait list and hired in 6 or 7 months.
Okay, Jenny, before the next big question is, hey, if I'm interested, what do I do? How's the best thing to reach you?
Yep, the best way to do it is give us a call here at Kelly Services Greensburg. Our number's here on the screen. It's 812-716-2105. Talk with one of us recruiters. It's a quick 2 to 3 minute questionnaire we're going to put through you guys, and we're just grabbing information really to see if you've ever worked out there, and getting your phone numbers and name and email so we can get you that application and send you the skills assessment test. That is the first thing to do, and it takes just a few minutes. We have now set up a way to just email everything out to you guys. You guys are able to do the application and the skills test at home, at a library, at a friend's house, wherever you're able to get to a computer, or you can even come into our branch. We've got computers here. We can help you out with it here.
Okay, well, thanks, Jenny Miller, and that was Jenny Miller from Kelly Services for Honda. So thanks for that description, and Jenny, we will get back to you later as we close the program out. Next up, I'm going to bring on, I think, Patty Hensley. So Patty, can you hear us okay?
I can.
Okay, great. And Patty is the Human Capital Manager with Advanced Bearing Materials. Let's start right there. Patty, tell us a little bit about Advanced Bearing and Materials. And I see here you guys have been in Greensburg since 2005. Tell us a little bit about the company, and for those that may not be from Greensburg, just a little bit about the community as well.
Sure, glad to do that. ABM, Advanced Bearing Materials, has been here since 2005. We are a joint venture with 2 companies from Austria, MEBA Bearings and KS Bearings. Prior to that, if people have lived around here a long time, they might have known us before as KS Bearings or MLKS Bearings, or if you go way back, Bond Aluminum. So,
okay.
Again, this joint venture has been in effect since 2005. We are a small company. We have less than 50 employees. We do work 3 shifts. We are producing basically raw material. So we take steel, start out with the steel, and we add various alloys to the steel. Goes through our process. Our end result are either coils of steel or slabs, which are sent on to make the entire bearing. So we are not making the actual bearing here. We're making the raw materials. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but we do work 3 shifts. During the pandemic, we went to 2 shifts, but we are just getting ready to go back to 3 shifts.
Okay, so it sounds like business is booming there. And
we are very busy. Yes.
Yeah, Patty, can you break down the hours? Are there specific hours for the 3 different shifts?
Absolutely. We would start in August. We'll go back to the 3 shifts. We would start Sunday night at 11 o'clock, work 11 to 7.
Now is that AM or PM?
11P to 7A.
Okay.
And then 7A to 3P, and then 3P to 11P.
Okay, that's very helpful. Right. And that starts in August, you said, right?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Okay, so next you're gonna talk to us about a cast line operator. Is that correct? And what does that
Right.
job do?
That is our primary position here.
Okay.
Cast line operator. Again, it includes setup and operating the various stations. There are like 6 stations on the line. It is by no means assembly. You are working on the entry end. You do some minor welds. It goes through the process to the furnaces. After the alloys are added in the furnace, again, you're working, of course, around very high temperatures. Then it goes through quench system. Quench system basically washes all the impurities off the product.
Okay.
Then we have a rough mill and a finish mill where we do our final kind of inspections and tolerances on the product. So you are working with other employees, but not directly. You're working with different tools. You need to know how to operate a forklift and an overhead crane. If you don't know that, we can train you on that. It's very helpful if someone has used micrometers or calipers. Math skills are helpful. And like I said, it's an interesting process. We do work with lead, so I like everybody to know that up front. But we give you all the PPE, the personal protective equipment that you would need. You wear a fire retardant uniform. Those are all provided. You wear steel-toed metatarsal boots. Those are provided. A hard hat. And we do check your lead levels quarterly to make sure that you're within the OSHA guidelines. So.
Okay, good. So I did have a question there on safety, but you went ahead and answered it. And it sounds like for the right individual that may not know how to operate a fork, there's a training program available for if it's the right match, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then how about benefits? You want to talk a little bit about benefits that are available?
Sure. Our benefits start day one. So if somebody needs health insurance, that would be the regular medical, dental, and vision all starts day one. We're with a good national company, so very good benefits. There is a contribution, but very affordable. Another benefit we have, which we're very proud of, is our 401k. And we offer a company match dollar for dollar up to 7%. So you get 12 paid holidays per year, and you start to get vacation after you complete your 90 days, which is your probationary period.
Okay, and then I did see that that's 12 paid holidays. That's a lot.
Yes, there is.
Okay, so and then I see they put the wages, the starting wages up there. Is that a starting wage?
That is a starting wage, $17.85. Another thing that applicants will want to know is, as far as the shift goes, you may train on day shift. We try to get you to train on days with more of our senior employees, but after that, you would likely be on second or third shift. Now, if you go to second shift, there's shift pay for $1.20 an hour. So that's on top of the $17.85. If you go to third shift, it's $1.15 an hour.
Okay, so there's some differential in pay then with the different shifts that are available. And all of these are all full-time, is that correct?
That's correct. Everything's full-time.
Okay, so Patty, I'm interested. The next slide, I think, tell them what do I need to do?
Okay, what you need to do, I've got my email address listed there. You can email your resume or contact me, and then I would get back with you. You can come out here to the plant. We're located at 1515 West Main. I have applications right inside the door that someone can stop and They can fill one out and I have another folder that they can drop them in. So,
And Patty, I always like to ask a question like this for folks that make these things like the bearings. Your end product, your end consumer, are there any names that we might know where the products end up?
you know, you probably wouldn't.
Okay.
Our products, our main customers are MEBA US, they're in Ohio. We ship to MEBA China, MEBA Austria, KS.
Okay.
So yeah,
worldwide.
probably not. Yeah, not really. Yes, worldwide. Not really anybody too close. So.
Okay. Well, hey, before we let you go, I do got a couple questions here, Patty.
Sure.
And I think you touched on it. So if I don't have any manufacturing experience, I think with the right resume and the right interest and willingness to learn, you guys do have training. Is that right? So we touched
Yes,
on
we
that.
do. Yes, we do have a training program.
And then one of the questions is, have you used micrometers or calipers? I think you guys use both, right?
Yes, we do. And that's, like I
And-
said, that just, it kind of helps a training curve if somebody has used those tools before.
Okay, and same I got another one here on driving a fork truck. So if somebody
Right.
has driven a forklift, that's just going to help them
Right.
getting started even more quickly, right?
And
So
just basic mechanical skills too. If somebody's, you know, even not used those, but they're kind of a person that's pretty handy at home that does their own car repair or, you know, just has
Sure.
that general knack of fixing things, then
that's
this might be a good fit for them.
yeah, that's probably one of the things you're looking for. So
Absolutely.
okay, that was Patty Hensley. Patty, thanks so much for joining us. We'll circle back with you at the end for any final comments. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so next up, we have from NIPRO Pharma Packaging America's Corporation, the HR supervisor, Bonnie Hahn. Bonnie, thanks for joining us today. Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
And why don't you give us kind of a bigger picture of NIPRO and a little bit about what you guys do and the community. I know you guys are in a small town, and I think you probably have employees that come from all around. So talk us through a little bit big picture.
Yes, we're here in Westport. We're right on the highway, and we have 12 manufacturing machines. We produce the vials that you get your flu shot or, you know, injections, insulin, stuff like that. And when it goes out of here, it's just a clean vial. So by being pharmaceutical, we are a tobacco-free property, and we do require you to gown up to be in the clear room. The hot end is hot, and that's where they produce the vials. It's a real unique process, and we train for all the areas.
And I'm going to ask you a similar question, Bonnie. So is your packaging go around the country? Does any of it even go beyond that?
It does go global. And we locally, it's probably like Lilly and Pfizer you've heard of. We make their vials. But we are a global manufacturing facility. We send to Japan, China, Hong Kong, everywhere.
Okay, so Bonnie, anything else you want to add? I think you talked about the community. You gave us a little background on the company. We're going to talk about a couple different job opportunities, right?
Right. We have 2 positions that are available. We don't have a lot of availability of positions. We are having people retire pretty soon. So what we're looking for, if you see the machine there, that is where an operator would manufacture. It's a lot of dyes, flames, it's oxygen and gas mixed to cut into the glass and form it into the vials.
Okay.
And that would be the, go ahead.
And that is the machine operator position?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to give us a little bit of breakdown on the job description. I think you got a schedule rotation here, right?
Yes. Both ends, the hot and the cold, they work 6 hours or 12 hours, 6 to 6. It's either 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. They work 2 days on, 2 days off. Every other weekend's a 3-day weekend. So it's 36 hours is considered full time for us. And so when you work on Sunday, it's time and a half. And that's every other Sunday is automatically scheduled. So in the clear room, you have to gown up, no makeup, no jewelry, anything that would affect the process of the vial. But we will train you on how to do each one of these positions. It's not something you're going to learn overnight. So you would be packing and visually looking over the vials to make sure they meet our qualifications.
So it sounds like a very safe and sterile environment, and probably always has been.
Oh yeah, yes, it is. It's a very clean. You can come in here and leave clean. It's not like you don't have a lot of dust and dirt and stuff on you. So that does help. And yeah, like I said, we'll train in everything because we have computers, we have vision systems, all the stuff that works together, but it's in line. So we make close to 1 million vials in 24 hours.
Oh my goodness, I never would have thought that. And how many employees do you currently have?
We have 85 employees.
Okay, and again, the reason for some of the availability coming up is retirements, which I think is always a good sign. The people that work there seem to be very committed to the company and to their jobs, and that's the reason there's some openings, right?
Correct. Because like I said, a machine operator, you can work here 2 years and you're not going to know all of it because the weather can make a difference on how it runs, It's like yesterday when the electric went out. Yep.
Oh, so you had an electric outage yesterday?
Yeah, that's not good because our machines go around, and if they don't go around, that gas and oxygen's all flaming into one spot. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So
yeah,
and I see a thing there on requirements. Anything else you want to add? It sounds like very much training and for the right match, skills and experience help, but also for the right match, also there can be some training that would be available, right?
Correct. Yes, we'll train on all the areas, and we do have a high attendance policy. We need you here. If you're going to work, we need you here.
Okay, and let's jump to benefits. So you want to talk a little bit about this?
Okay, we do pay 75 cents on night shift differential, medical, prescription, vision, dental. We also have 401k and a pension and paid holidays, and after your 90 days, your vacation starts.
Okay, so you also have the 90-day, and then vacation starts kicking in.
Correct.
Okay, so and there's the wage. It looks like for this position, $15.77. Is that the starting wage for the machine operator?
Yep, for a machine operator, that's the starting wage, and after that, it's up to them when they go up, what they learn.
Okay,
we have a skill map. So.
Okay, and you do have a second position. I think this is the inspector packer, right? So
correct. Inspector packer is on the cold end, is what we call that. And they work the same hours. It's the 12 hours. This position's mostly going to be on the night shift, the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and the 2 days off, 2 days off. You'll be in the cleanest area, cool area, but you do have to gown up. And that's where you package them, and then they put them out to the finished wear.
Okay, and it looks like there's also some similar skills, but also for somebody that comes in that hasn't done anything like this directly, there is some training that'll be available for the right match, right?
Correct. We'll train you for at least 2 weeks on day shift with our trainer. Right there to make sure you understand everything. And then once you go to a team, they work with you. This is a good, small family environment workforce.
Okay, and I did get a question here about benefits, and I think you answered that already. But when do benefits start? Does that start after 90 days?
The first of the month after hire.
Okay, and okay, so and I assume the benefits are the same for this position. And I see the wage there. It looks
Correct.
like $15.04 starting wage for the packer.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there either are or will be soon positions that will be open for this position, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, we do
All
have a
right. So,
couple.
okay, you got a couple open right now.
Yes.
Okay, so Bonnie, I'm interested. What do I need to do? What's the best way to apply for this?
You can either email me, you can call me, or you can go on Facebook has NIPRO Facebook page. You can go there. It has a link. There's a link there. Or you can just call me and I can email it to you, or the paper one if you stop by here at the factory.
Okay, Bonnie, and I got a question here that you and I actually talked about yesterday. So where Westport is, that is South Decatur High School. Is that correct?
Yes, we're in the South Decatur High School area, right down the road from them.
Okay, so Bonnie, thanks for walking us through that. It sounds like there's a couple different opportunities there at NIPRO, and appreciate your time. We'll circle back with you at the end. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie. So next up, the fourth of our four folks today. Please welcome the Assistant Manager of Human Resources with One Solution Logistics of Indiana, Brandon Mills. Brandon, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Sure. And tell a little bit about One Solution Logistics, where you guys are located, what you do, and then we'll jump into the job you're looking to fill. Okay.
Okay. We are a consolidation warehouse. We are actually connected to Honda through a tunnel. We're actually a division of Honda through the logistics side.
Okay.
We currently we transport all the car making materials to Honda through the tunnel. So
I see. So you're a division of Honda that does a lot of their logistical work. Okay.
yeah, we handle a lot of their car parts.
Okay. And so you're going to be located in Greensburg, actually connected and on the campus at Honda, correct?
Yes, that's correct. We share the same parking lot.
Okay. And then you're actually going to talk about 5 employment opportunities, right? You're going to walk us through, I think I have down as 5 different opportunities. Is that correct?
I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm kind of a fill-in here, so I'm not real sure what they gave you.
Yeah,
but
I think
you
can just follow the screen here. How about that? And then we'll just walk through these together. So the first one looks like is the warehouse associate. You want to tell us a little bit about that position?
Oh yeah, we are currently hiring for the second shift warehouse associate. They typically work 40 plus hours a week. Generally it's Monday through Friday. Of course, if we always just say if Honda's running, we are running. So.
And Brandon, can you tell us what those hours for that second shift are?
Yeah, they are 4:30 to 1. They typically have 30 minutes of daily overtime.
Okay.
Right now, the overtime is a little bit more to help assist with some of the production needs.
Looks like there's several things listed there.
Yeah, looks like these are just mostly, generally what happens is an associate comes in hired off the street, and if we for some reason cannot get them into training right away for a forklift or a tugger, then they will be what is considered a floor associate, and there's multiple different areas there. That's why you see a lot of the handling the boxes and parts counting. They do a lot of scanner work, stuff like that. So
it sounds like a good entry level position to kind of get started within the not only within One Solution Logistics, but within Honda. Sounds like it's a good way to kind of get your foot in the door.
Yeah, we don't require any previous experience. You do not need to have a GED or diploma to apply.
So. Okay, and training program looks like the kind of stuff there. If people haven't done that specifically, it sounds like that's something you can train them up pretty quickly, right? So
yeah, we have a pretty detailed training program. Like similar to Honda's, where they go through some classroom training. Then they'll spend some time on each piece of equipment, and the training team will actually determine, based on how well they do at each one, what is the best fit for them.
Okay.
Because we want the associates to be comfortable with what they're doing. So.
And it says their forklift experience is preferred but not required. Do you train for forklifts? So if you get the right person in there?
Everybody that comes through the door will be trained on a forklift and a tugger.
Okay,
they might not necessarily operate those pieces of equipment, but they will be trained. We do not require experience for that.
And Brandon, I don't know what a tugger is. Can you help me with that?
A tugger is kind of it's like a ride-on, almost you pull a train behind it.
Okay, sounds fun. So,
Yeah.
okay, so hey, so that's the warehouse associate position. Looks like also their benefits, low-cost benefits for you and yourself and your family. Anything else? Shoe reimbursement, paid holidays. Anything else you want to mention on the corporate discounts? Anything you want to point out on the benefits section listed there?
Just as far as our benefits go, they are eligible for the benefits on their 91st day of employment.
So after 90 days, you're on board.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the warehouse associate. Great way to get started at Honda. And I don't think we have any other positions for you, but for somebody that is interested, we'll bring up the next slide to show you what we have down here for somebody that wants to go. There's the wages. So you got the wages listed there, the $14.79, and then after 30 days, it gets bumped up to $15.11. And I would assume that's for the second shift. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so for somebody interested, Brandon, I think here's the and Shirley's contact information. So anything else you want to throw in here? Does all this make sense to you?
Yeah, just a quick update to your slide. If you could go back one.
Sure.
I just kind of want to touch on this because I'm not sure where this information came from. So I'm just going to tell in the associate's first 30 days, their base wage is $14.08 an hour.
Okay.
Plus the 5% shift differential for second shift would put them at $14.78 for the first 30 days. After that, their wage would then go to $14.79 as a base wage, which for second shift is $15.52.
Okay, so those were a little bit off, those numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. You may want to pass that on to Dorothy. Okay, so so you got the or Shirley, I meant. So you got the application. If somebody has applied, I got a question here. If somebody's already applied there and they haven't heard anything 6 months or earlier, should they go ahead and reapply?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If they, I have another phone number I can give you as well. If they.
Sure, go ahead.
It's not listed here. It's 812-222-6100.
Okay.
That is a direct line to the recruiting center.
Okay, and I do have a couple questions for you, Brandon, before we let you get off.
Okay.
There was a question about your ownership of the company. Are you guys a subsidiary, and are you owned by Honda? And if so, are there any Honda-related benefits?
We are owned by Honda. We are a division of Honda Logistics of North America.
Okay.
We do not have the exact same benefits. Our benefits are very similar to theirs.
Okay. And one of the questions is, what do you make there? You're more of a logistic. You don't manufacture. You're a logistics company, right?
Correct. We just handle the incoming parts.
Okay. And then the last question I got specifically for you, Brandon, is do you promote from within? So someone that gets started there, are they going to be in logistics forever, or once you're in there, do people move to another division? And is that possible in promotions?
Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely hire or promote from within. I myself have worked my way up from an administrative staff person. We've had production associates that have now worked their way up to vice president. We're constantly, we always look internally before we look externally. So I can't say
Okay.
that's
Sure.
one thing about it. So.
Okay, well, it sounds like there's lots of opportunity there as well. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do real quick as we look to wrap up. Thank you so much, Brandon, for walking us through there with One Solution Logistics of Indiana, a division of Honda. So let's circle back to the beginning and see if there's anything else. We've kind of got through the questions so far, and then again, as we mentioned, all the people that registered will get a link to this recording. And then also their contact information will be with the employers to follow up. But before we say goodbye, I want to double back with Patty Hensley from Advanced Bearing. Patty, any final thoughts from you?
Yes.
Okay. Any final words for the job seekers?
No. Again, thanks everybody for your time. I do have 4 positions open now for operator, so it'd be a good time to apply. I don't know that I mentioned, but part of our process, after an interview is we do the drug testing, of course, pre-employment drug testing and a physical. So
okay.
It does take probably 2 weeks before you can really start here. Just based on the timing of those tests. But anyway, any question, just please contact me and be glad to talk to any of the applicants.
Great.
All
Thanks,
right.
Patty. And again, Patty Hensley with Advanced Bearing Materials. Next up, Jenny Miller with Kelly Services for Honda. She's the talent recruiter. Any final comments for folks looking for either part or full-time work that would actually be located at Honda? Jenny, any final comments from you?
Yeah, you guys can, like I said before, give us a call at the number. You can stop in. You can even email us. Honda's needing like 50 bodies a week at this point, so we can get you guys in real quick.
Okay, great. So that's Jenny Miller of Kelly Services. Thank you so much, Jenny. And Bonnie Hahn. Bonnie's with NIPRO PHARMAPACKAGING. Any final thoughts from you, Bonnie?
Now, I'd like to thank everybody for their time and listening in, and I would like to let you know that we are centrally located between Greensburg, North Vernon, and Columbus.
Great, location matters. So thank you so much, Bonnie. And finally, Brandon Mills with One Solution Logistics, which is a division of Honda. Brandon, any final comments?
I think one thing we didn't cover was that we are a direct hire position, so it is not contingent. So I didn't see that anywhere in the presentation. So figured I'd throw that out there.
Can you elaborate on that, Brandon? What that means?
There is no waiting period to go full time. You're hired directly at full time. So.
Okay, all right. Well, that's Brandon Mills from One Solution Logistics. Thanks for joining us, Brandon. And with that, we're going to conclude today's program. Again, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of opportunities down in Decatur County, and we wish you all well. Thanks to the employers for their time today as well. And again, by registering for today's program, that information will be passed along to the employers. So be on the lookout. So with that, we're going to say goodbye and thanks for joining us.